Welcome back to another Sunday stroll. Today, we're not strolling the fields because as you can see, they're still covered in snow. But I'm going to take you behind the scenes to show you what's happening inside right now. This is the time of year where things really start ramping up. And even though you can't really tell from anything happening outside yet, seeds are being started. My crop plan is getting finalized. I'm dividing tubers. And in my case, there's still a lot to figure out on how to make it all work in a brand new space. So let's take a behind the scenes tour of how I'm trying to make it work. As many of you know, this is my first season growing on this new farm. And one of the biggest differences for me right now is that I don't have a greenhouse yet. At my previous farm, I had a dedicated greenhouse space where I could start seeds, pot up seedlings, divide dahlias, and move plants through their different stages of growth. Here I'm working with much more limited space for the time being, and this year is about creating a temporary system that works until I'm able to install a greenhouse. Before anything gets planted or started, everything begins with the crop plan. I keep my crop plan here on my computer, and it really guides the entire season, what I grow, how much of it I grow, how do I grow it, direct seed versus starting in trays, and when things are going to be started, when they're going to be transplanted out, harvested, all of that. One of the biggest shifts this year is that I've chosen to grow fewer varieties and instead focus on high-value crops. That means flowers that perform well in this climate, that designers love, that work for weddings and events, and that fit the markets that I'm focusing on. So instead of trying to grow everything, I'm concentrating on crops like peonies, bearded iris, allium, delphinium, lisianthus, campanula, dahlias, and roses. These are flowers that really earn their place here for me in the markets that I'm choosing to focus on. And just a brief look at how I've set up my crop plan. If you're interested in a deeper dive on the crop plan, I can do a video on that as well. Just drop me a comment below, and I will go through this in more detail. But for now, my crop plan is done on a Google Sheet. I've inputted important dates like the last frost and the first frost. And I've also calculated kind of weeks before, dates that fall 5, 7, and 9 weeks before my last frost. So when the seed packet says plant 4 weeks out before your last frost, or sow 10 weeks before the last frost, I've got these dates are already calculated. I include the crop, the name of the crop, the specific variety I'm growing, the method, whether it's direct seeded or trays, and again, am I seeding them myself or am I buying in plugs? What week? So in the agricultural world, the 52-week calendar is used to standardize when things are going to be planted. So in particular, for instance, this campanula is being brought in from this vendor in plug trays of 210, and they are arriving week 10, which is now. I have also the ag weeks noted here. So week 10 is the week of March 2nd, which we are in, and they arrived last night. So our next video will be taking you through some unboxing of the plugs and also showing you how I pop them up. But anyway, this will tell you that, tells me that they're coming in week 10, which is the week of March 2nd, and I'll be potting them up that week. And when I intend to transplant them out, again, the days to maturity can help me determine what the harvest date is, and any specific notes on spacing or what location I'm planning on putting them in. So there's a lot of information you can add on here, but the simple things are the variety you're growing, the method you're growing, when you're going to start them, when you're going to transplant them, when you're going to harvest them. One other shift this season is that I've chosen to buy in more plugs instead of starting everything from seed. Normally, I love starting seeds. I love the variety that all the seeds provide. I love having control over the germination process, and seeds are more economical than purchasing plugs. But with the move and the new farm and the uncertainty around the space and the setup for the year, I felt it was more practical to buy in plugs. So plugs allow me to skip the earliest stage of seed starting and receive young plants like these that are already established. It saves space and time and helps reduce some of the risk during the year that already has a lot of variables.
Plants and not just putting tubers out there that may or may not sprout for me.
This is the moment where things really begin to shift. Even though the fields are quiet and still covered in snow, there's a lot of work that's starting to pick up. Plants are arriving, I'm starting seeds, dividing dahlias. Little by little, the farm is coming to life. This year looks a bit different for me. I'm working in a new space, on a new farm. I'm building systems as I go and adapting along the way. But that's part of the process of growing. Thanks for coming behind the scenes with me today, and thanks for taking a Sunday stroll with me. Until next week.